Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about Cave Hira. Cave Hira is the cave in Mount Hira where Muhammad allegedly met Gabriel. Well, whoever he met there never gave the name, but and he never asked the name. That's the weirdest part. But the problem is, I have a problem with cave. I mean, meditating in cave, because Muhammad was meditating there. Until look at this answer here. This is the cave where he received his revelation from Allah through the angel Gabriel. Prophet Muhammad lived in this cave while he received messages from God and therefore refrained from living for prolonged periods of time. This is a lie. This website, made it as if he came there and then he received the message and then he came there again, he received the message again, he came there again until 23 years or for long time, long period of times, which is no. He got the message in Cave Hira was only the first time, I do believe. And after that, it's sporadic, it's everywhere. But the very first time, I want to talk about this because this is where Islam began. Because this is where Islam began. I want to show you that even the beginning of Islam is already wrong. The start of Islam is already questionable. Now, if you go to aboutislam.net, there's a question: why did Prophet Muhammad often visit cave of Hira? Now, remember what I said earlier. He did not receive there, visit cave of Hira many times and receive revelation every time. Most of the time, he was just meditating. Take a look at the answer. Short answer. Mostly, he was thinking and meditating on the greatness of God and seeking to escape the social ills that dominated Meccan society at the time, including abuse and neglect of women, idolatry, an unfair balance of wealth, and abuse of those living in poverty. It was during such a time that God sent revelation to Muhammad, making him a prophet. If you have read the Bible, and probably you will notice there's no prophet in the Bible who received revelation in a cave. Right? The cave is not even, it's not even huge cave. It's just a small cave. It's a tiny space. I will show you later. Now, I want to analyze this answer. I want us to analyze it. Mostly, he was thinking and meditating on the greatness of God. Meditating. Like I said, meditating. When I meditate, I listen to Christian music. That way I can fill myself with Holy Spirit. Because our meditating technique is not the same like the Hindus and the Buddhists. You don't have to be in the room or in a cave to meditate. And you have to do exactly the opposite of what they're doing. The Hindus and the Buddhists, they want to meditate and empty their minds. And we have to do the opposite. We are to fill ourselves with Holy Spirit. And Prophet Muhammad, look at this, thinking and meditating on the greatness of God, First of all, meditating, the way he did it, is just like the Hindus and the Buddhists. They meditate in a cave or sometimes under a tree, in a room. That's how they meditate. In Indonesia, you can go anywhere, not only in Bali. Bali has the biggest population, Hindu population in the country. So meditating is something normal for a Balinese. But Java has the biggest Muslim population in Indonesia as an island, from west to east. Even in the West Java, where the Muslims are more um, hardliners, I can say, there are so many spots, so many mountains, so many caves, so many areas you can visit and do meditating in that place. For example, this one. Okay, the second one is in Bali, and this one here also in Java, Southern Java. You can meditate anywhere, even in an island that heavily populated by Muslims. People meditate in caves or under the tree, like I said, just like Prophet Muhammad. Because why? He was worshipping Aluza. If you read Muslim sources, you will read how the Quraysh, including Khadijah and Muhammad, their greatest goddess was Aluza. Let's go next. Oh, wait. He was thinking and meditating on the greatness of God? I don't think so. This is a little bit, they make it like the word using God, but it's not God like what we know, the God of Jacob, the God of Joseph, the God of Abraham. But God is this God is Aluza. His goddess was Aluza. Because the Quraysh, like I said, worship Aluza as their greatest goddess. Let's go next. Seeking to escape the social ills that dominated Meccan society at the time. Which society doesn't have social ills? Any society has problems. There is no such thing as perfect society. Not in Germany, not in Greece, not in Qatar, not in Yemen, not in Malaysia, not in India or China or Tibet, nowhere. No such thing. I don't know what he's talking about. He's making up story. This guy who answered. Because who can fix this kind of stuff except God Himself? One day we will have new world and new Jerusalem, and then the society will be just and perfect. Now, next, including abuse and neglect of women. Neglect of women? Khadijah was married twice. She married Muhammad the third time as a third husband. And she was a wealthy woman, a wealthy widow. There's no report that she was abused by her ex-husbands or previous husbands. She was rich. She was doing well. And Muhammad, when she died, after she died, Muhammad could not run the trading caravans. The business fell apart after Khadijah died. Khadijah was not only rich, but she was also smart. And if anything, regarding this neglect of women, abuse and neglect of women, when Prophet Muhammad ran away to Medina, he changed the society there and it just became worse. Before that, the women had so much power. They talk back to their husband because they have equal power. If anything, actually, the husband sometimes scared of, not scared, but uh, they could not, the treatment of women were very different because the husband and their wives were more equal. Islam changed that. Now the women must listen to their husband because the husband is their protector. There's a hadith about it, the story in hadith, how the women of Ansar talk back to their husbands before Islam. It was people from Makkah who came from Makkah, the Muslims who came from Makkah changed it. Next one, idolatry. Muhammad wasn't thinking about idolatry because everybody in Makkah, in Quraysh, his tribe were worshipping Aluza. If you worship Aluza as goddess, you're not thinking of idolatry. Because, and secondly, Prophet Muhammad did not change anything. He only changed from Al-Uzza to black stone. Now the Muslims praying 5 times toward black stone with the dream to visit the black stone one day, to touch it and to kiss it. What's more, it is the same, just different idol, but it is still idolatry. Islam did not change anything. Next one, an unfair balance of wealth. Unfair balance of wealth. Everywhere has this problem. Any society, anytime, until today. Look at in Saudi, the king families are rich, not families are poorer. Well, maybe not too poor, but still poor. There are so many families live with $1,000 a month. Even though it is not the worst, but still, compared to the kings and the families who owns billions of dollars, it's nothing. And abuse of those living in poverty. People who live in poverty always get abused. In most countries, not in the West. The West were built by the Christians. People who live in poverty, they don't get abused actually, not in the same level. If anything, it is those who live in poverty abuse the system, the other way around. And I've seen immigrants also abuse the system. But the point is, an abuse of those living in poverty does not change even after Islam. If you go to Bangladesh, if you go to Indonesia, if you go to Pakistan, if you go to Gujarat, especially Assam in India, mostly Muslims, and they're the poorest, and they get abused a lot. They get less of everything because they are poor. It is wrong, but it is normal. It's everywhere. That's what I'm trying to say. I just want to say Islam did not change anything anyway. And I do not believe Muhammad was in the cave to do all kind of this kind of thinking. He wanted to change the society because neglected women, because of abuse of the poor. No, he was not thinking about that. The meditation is just part of worshiping Aluza. And so many Muslims they have hard time accepting this. They try to show you to show to non-Muslim that Muhammad did not worship any idol, which is wrong. Like I said, Muslim sources say Muhammad and Khadijah worship Al-Uzza. Let's go to Al-Bukhari, hadith number 6982. Let us take a look. Let us read. Start from here. He used to go in seclusion, Hira, where he used to worship continuously for many nights. Notice I don't read words in the brackets. Obviously, look at this. They're too embarrassed to say he worshiped Al Uzza, but then so they change. They add this worship Allah alone. Anyway, it is not in Arabic reading. Let's continue. He used to take with him the journey food for that, and then come back to Khadijah to take his food likewise again for another period to stay, till suddenly the truth descended upon him while he was in the cave of Hira. The angel came to him in it and asked him to read. The prophet said, I do not know how to read. The angel caught me and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it anymore. He then released me and asked me again to read. And I replied, I do not know how to read. Whereupon he caught me again and pressed me second time till I could not bear it anymore. He then released me and asked me again to read. But again I replied, I do not know how to read. Then thereupon he caught me for the third time and pressed me and then released me and said, read in the name of your Lord who has created man from cloth. Read and then continue. Then that is Surah Al-Alaq, Quran chapter 96. There you go. And then Allah's Messenger returned with the inspiration, his neck muscles twitching with terror, till he entered upon Khadijah and said, cover me, cover me. They covered him till his fear was over, and then he said to Khadijah, oh Khadijah, what is wrong with me? I will just stop there. The story is questionable. What they call angel never introduced himself as Gabriel. How did he know it was Gabriel? It was the cousin of Khadijah, Warqa bin Nawfal, who told him it was Gabriel. Why did Waraka say something such thing? In my opinion, so Muhammad uh, doesn't get scared anymore, because he was too scared. Remember, Muhammad was going to kill himself too, several times. Of course, Khadijah and her cousin, wanted to help Muhammad so he doesn't kill himself. Remember the story of Adam when Adam was created in Hadith, and then Adam said to the angels, "Assalamu alaikum," and then the angels replied, "Walaikum assalam." How come this prophet of Allah, angel of Allah, did not say Assalamu alaikum? How come? A lot of questions here. Read in the name of your Lord. I know there are so many other hadith saying the third time, just the angel said recite. But if you take a look at this hadith is the angel, supposedly angel, insisted that Muhammad should read for the third time. If he is angel, a real angel, he should know that Muhammad did not know how to read. So he didn't have to force Muhammad to read, right? The whole hadith is questionable. And then it was Waraka who told him that it was Gabriel, the same one who visited Moses. This is funny. Why would angel Gabriel visited Moses? According to Islam, Allah spoke directly to Moses. So what the heck angel Gabriel doing visiting Moses? Doing mime? Very questionable. Any Muslim sources, including Quran and Hadith, are very, very questionable. If you uh, take a look deeper, read it one more time, carefully, slowly, you will see not only discrepancies, but it just doesn't add up. Like things don't add up. So I don't know. And this is Sahih al Bukhari. And by Muslim standard, mostly Sunni, right? Al Bukhari was a genius. He memorized 600,000 hadith. Well, first of all, I don't know why would he memorize 600,000 hadith. What's wrong with him? He could not read and write. If somebody tells me hadith, I will just write it down. And if the hadith is the same or similar, I'm not gonna read it. I'm not gonna write it again. And this guy writing over 600,000 memorizing over 600,000 hadith, and then only 6,000 got into the book, got compiled, and even 6,000, couple of thousands of them are just repeats. What is the use of repeating the same hadith? I don't know. What if the use of repeating similar hadith? I have no clue. What's wrong with this Bukhari? I don't think he's a genius like Muslim says. If anything, this guy is an idiot. Wasting time memorizing hadith where he could just write it down. Anyway, That's all from me for tonight. I just want to put it out there that the story about Cave Hira is just another mess. Another mess. Because this is just showing that Islam is wrong from the beginning. Islam is questionable from the beginning, from the start. Well, that's all from me for tonight. Thank you for listening and watching. And thank you for all the support and love. God bless you all, whether you're Muslim, a Hindu, or a Buddhist. God bless you all. Have a nice life.